Okay, good evening and welcome everyone to General Council of September 27th. I'll first begin by identifying any media on the line. Didn't see anybody join in yet. So if we do have any individuals from the Turtle Island or the two-row, we'll acknowledge when they sign in. That leads me into the next item on the agenda, which is the changes, additions, or deletions to the agenda. Looking across the room, seeing or hearing none, then I'll look to a mover and seconder to adopt this evening's agenda. Moved by Michelle, second by Melba. Are there any further questions or comments? Seeing or hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Seeing or hearing none, motion is carried. We have no delegations or presentations this evening, so I'll jump right into the adoption of the General Council minutes of September 13th.
I'll move on the minutes.
Okay, thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Audrey. It's moved by Carrie and seconded by Audrey to adopt the minutes of September 13th. Are there any questions, comments in relation to the minutes? Okay, seeing or hearing none, then all in favor? Any opposed? Seeing or hearing none, motion is carried. The next set of minutes that we have, it should be within your Dropbox, is the adoption of the B&I minutes of August 10th.
I'll move.
Moved by Audrey, seconder. Second by Michelle. Are there any questions or comments in relation to those set of minutes? Seeing or hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Seeing or hearing none, motion is carried. Okay, we have a number of recommendations coming from our ethics committee. I'll look to our members on that committee for any further questions or comments in relation to each of them. First, recommendation 7.1. Moved by Michelle. Is there a seconder? Second by Nathan. And just by virtue of those online, it's to move that the Ethics Committee recommends to the Six Nations of the Grand River Elected Council to approve. That's a tough name. I'm going to go right to the application to conduct research titled Mental Health, Learning Needs and Preferences Among Midwives at Six Nations Maternal and Child Center. That's been moved and seconded. Are there any further questions or comments? Audrey.
Yeah, I just question, are they also including traditional ways of handling mental health issues?
I'll look to the mover and seconder for those, if they can recall the application on that. Okay, so we're not too sure on that specific answer, Audrey. However, to the understanding of the application, it's more of a focus group to the particular group of amongst midwives. Is there any further questions or comments in relation to 7.1? Okay, seeing or hearing none, then all in favor? Any opposed? Seeing or hearing none, motion is carried. Recommendation 7.2. That's moved by Michelle, seconder. Second by Nathan. Again, it reads, and I'll look to further questions and comments after. The Ethics Committee recommends to the elected council to approve Shaina Nolan's application to conduct research titled Water Quality Analysis. Further questions, comments, Audrey?
Yeah, the one question I have is they said they were going to call the stream stuff the original names, which are not, I guess, are they trying to change the names of the streams that are now?
Okay, again, I do apologize on my front. I don't have my Dropbox, but I'll look to the mover and the names, the original names of the streams? They're not looking to change any of those, are they?
No, this research focuses on the impact land use, I believe, has on stream ecology.
Okay, perfect. So there's no name change to your point, Audrey.
Well, they did state in their presentation on paper there that they were changing names to original Anishinaabe names or,
Okay, then,
so I think we need to check that out.
I think for the work she has done in Batchewana, they are using the name for that community, but to my understanding, she wasn't using Ojibwe names here on Haudenosaunee territory.
okay, thanks. Thanks for that background, Michelle. Is there any further questions or comments?
Yeah, Chief,
Yes, Carrie.
are they going to be taking water samples to analyze? Is there any of that going on, or?
Yes. Field sampling, collection, and measuring of the Mackenzie Creek behind the roads department.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for that,
Okay.
Michelle. Further questions, comments? Audrey.
Yeah, just this data, is it also going to Six Nations as well?
Yes. Further questions, comments? Okay, seeing or hearing none, then it's been moved and seconded. I'll go to the vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing or hearing none, motion is carried. Recommendation 7.3. It's moved by Michelle, seconder. Second by Nathan, again, that the Ethics Committee recommends to the elected council to approve Jennifer Bonnell and Alan Corbier's application to conduct research titled Changing the Narrative and Connecting Indigenous and Settler Histories at Black Creek Pioneer Village. Those who have your Dropbox, if there's any further questions or comments in relation to this application, again, it's been moved and seconded. Further questions, comments? Okay, I'm not seeing or hearing none at this time. I'll go to the vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing or hearing none, motion is carried. The next recommendation 7.4, Councillor Michelle Bombury is declaring conflict as this is her application. So I will look to another mover and seconder and any further questions or comments. It's moved by Nathan, seconded by Sherry Lynn, again from the Ethics Committee to recommend to the elected council to approve Michelle Bombury's application to conduct research titled Early Warning Signs Cardiovascular. Further questions, comments? Audrey?
Yes, I guess I want to know the intent of asking the recipients their highest grade level of education that they have. What are you going to do with that information?
So when we ask those demographic questions, we're actually developing our target group and seeing if there's any correlations between heart disease and education level.
Thank you, Michelle, for the response. Is there any further questions or comments? Seeing or hearing none, I'll go to the vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing or hearing none, motion is carried. And the last item from ethics is recommendation 7.5. Looking to a mover and seconder. Moved by Michelle, second by Audrey. Again, this is from the Ethics Committee to recommend to the elected council to approve Sarah Smith's application to conduct research titled COVID Community Qualitative Portion. Further questions, comments? Okay, seeing or hearing none, then all in favor? Any opposed? Seeing or hearing none, motion is carried. I'm going to look to waive second reading on the previous recommendations from 1 to 5. Looking to a mover. Moved by Sherry Lynn, seconded by Nathan. And again, still for your declaration of conflict, Councilor Michelle as well will still remain in for the second reading waive of 7-4. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing or hearing none, motion is carried. Okay, we have a little bit of scheduling to do on this agenda as well. We need a recommendation for Councillor Helen Miller to attend the Ontario Joint Gathering, which is hosted by ISK.
I'll move.
Our October 25th and the 26th in Toronto, Ontario. It's moved by Audrey. Is there a seconder? Second by Melba. Are there any further questions or comments? Okay, seeing or hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Seeing or hearing none, motion is carried. The next upcoming meetings, and I believe we even have a further one coming on another agenda, which is in relation to the language and languages and culture at the AFN National Gathering. So that's not on here yet. However, this one is the Chiefs of Ontario Fall Assembly, which is scheduled from November 13th into the 15th, which is located in Toronto, Ontario. I will be looking to attend that for myself along with 2 other councillors. So I'm looking for 2 names to bring forward at this time for a motion to attend in November to the 13th to the 15th, which is the annual fall assembly for the Chiefs of Ontario. Greg, did you want to put your name forward? Okay, we have Greg, Councillor Greg Fraser. Is there any other interest?
I'll go if nobody else wants to go.
Okay, I think you'll, oh, you're, yeah. Okay, Helen as well. Councillor Helen is putting her name forward. Therefore, I will look to a motion for myself along with Councillors Greg and Helen to attend the Fall Assembly of the Chiefs of Ontario in Toronto through November 13th to the 15th. It's moved by Michelle, seconded by Sherry Lynn. Are there any further questions or comments? Sure.
I'll be attending the National Indigenous Fire Safety Council. I'll be there. I just want to be transparent.
Perfect. Thank you for that. And Councillor Nathan has advised us that he will also be in attendance at the Chiefs of Ontario on behalf of the National Indigenous Fire Safety Group. Further questions? Thank you for that, Nathan. Further questions, comments, Greg?
The Chiefs of Ontario, did they arise from Union of Ontario Indians? Is that a separate group? They came from the Brotherhood.
The Brotherhood.
Oh, the Brotherhood. The Union of Ontario Indians, do they still exist? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to give you all that background in our check-in. Okay, any further questions, comments? Seeing or hearing none, then it's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing or hearing none, motion is carried. I'll look to a motion to waive second reading on the 2 previous schedule motions, moved by Michelle, seconded by Sherry Lynn. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing or hearing none, motion is carried. That's all we have for this evening's session of General Council. At this point in time, I will look to a motion to adjourn, moved by Nathan, seconded by Melba. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing or hearing none, motion is carried. And just before we sign off, again, I just want to give, on behalf of our council, a huge congratulations to the new sworn in. We attended the badge ceremony this evening at the Six Nations Police, swearing in 3 new constables and the acting sergeant. All, again, from members, actually 1 from Akwesasne, the other 3 are from our territory. So want to wish them well in the joining of the service of the Six Nations Police, and that we were there at the badge ceremony, which is why we started our general council this evening at 7 p.m. We had a quick agenda, so that does complete it. And again, want to say nyawa to each of you for joining in this evening, and look forward to joining at our next live stream meeting. Thank you and have a great evening.